welcome to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui, and this episode of Now Showing is brought to you from Abu Dhabi, where Iifa, that is International Indian Film Academy Awards, are happening. I think the only awards that never happen in India, almost never. They are a connect between the international community and our own Hindi film industry. So, ahlan wa sahlan. And let's begin Now Showing with the headlines. On the show today, Hansal Mehta takes a trip down memory lane and talks about his journey as the storyteller. Sanya Malhotra, Anant V Joshi and director Yashowardhan Mishra talk about their rural comedy on Netflix called Kathal. Bob Biswas, director Diya Annapurna Ghosh on that one film that changed her life. Singer-composer Manj Musik and Anusha Dandekar on their new song Love Token. After delivering an extremely well-told series called Scam 1992 a couple of years ago, Hansal Mehta is back with his new series called Scoop. It's based on crime reporter Jigna Vora's memoir called Behind Bar in Baikala. I caught up with him in Mumbai earlier this week and he got talking about his good old days of Khana Khazana and his days of directing, producing mystery thrillers like Woodstock Villa, to that entire journey where he's now known for beautiful, sensitive films like Aligarh. Here is Hansal Mehta, totally unplugged. Hansal ji, khush aamdeed. Steve Jobs had once said that you would realize the journey or the story of your life only once you look back and connect the dots. आप शादियों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी करते थे, आपने फिल्मों की एडिटिंग भी की, आप वेब सीरीज़, फिल्म्स और टेलीविज़न तीनों में डायरेक्टर प्रोड्यूसर रहे हैं. राख, वुडस्टॉक विला, बहुत सारी 10 कहानियाँ. उसके बाद एक फेज़ आया जब स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टोरी and strong actors, no matter how big or small they are, you started investing your time with them. What made you make that transition or a shift in your sensibility?
I don't know, जैसे आपने कहा कि you look back and you know your story. I actually don't look back. My story is in what I do now. ये पूरी जो journey है, it has been a journey of never trying to second guess the future and not really letting the past bog you down.
Yeah.
कि वो inflated जो एक sense होता है आपका खुद को लेकर, वो और अपने failure को लेकर जो एक निराशा होती है, इन दोनों से मैं लड़ता हूँ. और मैं फ्यूचर में ये नहीं सोचता हूँ कि इसका रिजल्ट क्या होगा. मेरे लिए काम हो जाता है, उसके बाद लोगों तक पहुँचना और दूसरा काम शुरू करना, ये बहुत ज़्यादा. तो मैं हर काम जो लेता हूँ वो अगले काम के लिए लेता हूँ कि वो अभी इसके बाद, तो उस तरह से जुगाड़ वाली बात है कि भाई ये काम मेरा अगले काम का जुगाड़ है. जब आपने रिकाउंट किया तब लगा कि अच्छा बहुत सारी चीज़ें कर ली, लेकिन मुझे फ्रैंकली कभी लगा नहीं कि मैंने कुछ बहुत किया है. मुझे अभी लगता है कि अब बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है.
हाँ, वो साहिल लुधियानवी ने कहा था कि गम और खुशी का फ़र्क न महसूस हो जहाँ, मैं दिल को उस मकाम पे लाता चला गया. I think it is very visible in your career choices that you don't care too much about how much is the financial outcome of something going to be. You're very brave in your stories and projects.
I believe financial outcome is something that you almost pre-decide, especially given the kind of work that I do. I believe strongly कि budgets fail, films don't fail.
Yeah.
तो मैं पहले बहुत तवज्जो बजट को देता हूँ कि भाई इतने में बननी चाहिए, और उसके बाद उस बजट में प्री सेल होना वो मेरे लिए एक सेफ्टी नेट रहता है कि भाई फिल्म जिसने इन्वेस्ट किया है उसके पैसे कम से कम वापस आ जाए. मैं उसमें फिर अपनी पूरी शिद्दत के साथ, पूरी मेहनत के साथ अपना काम करता हूँ.
तो आपकी फिल्मों में एक अजीब सी सादगी होती है, आप अपने एक्टर्स भी ऐसे ही चुनते हैं, और फिर जो फिल्म की स्क्रिप्ट की कहानी होती है उसमें भी आप खामखा का ड्रामेटाइजेशन unnecessarily नहीं करते हैं. And it has paid off for you. Are you proud of that?
I take pride in, when somebody who has started their work with me or has done some good work with me, जब उनका और काम आता है और उनको और recognition मिलता है, financial, commercial and critical success जब उनको मिलने लगता है, तब मैं सोचता हूँ कि जो मैंने चांस लिया था, जो रिस्क लिया था, वो उस रिस्क में सही मायने में इश्क था.
रिस्क को इश्क था. And your recent announcement is
स्कूप.
Scoop. और स्कूप कहानी है जिग्ना बोरा की, जो अर्ली 2010, 11, 12 में काफ़ी बड़ा इशू बना था. दिस इज़ अगेन वेरी वेरी योर काइंड ऑफ स्टोरी. व्हाट मेड यू टेक अप दिस प्रोजेक्ट?
जब मैंने बुक पढ़ी, आई रियलाइज दैट देयर वाज अ स्टोरी दैट वाज आउटसाइड द बुक.
एंड द स्टोरी एंड द बुक इज रिटन बाय
जिग्ना बोरा. जिग्ना बोरा's book, बिहाइंड बार्स इन बाइकला. तो उस किताब में जो चीज़ें थी, तो उसमें मुझे लगा कि एक्सप्लोर करने वाले एक दुनिया है जो उस किताब में नहीं है, लेकिन जिसके बारे में मुझे एक शो बनाना है. आई वांट टू टेल दिस स्टोरी. मृण्मयी लागू जो मेरी इसमें को क्रिएटर है, तो वो और मैच बॉक्स, ये कहानी मैच बॉक्स शॉट्स मेरे प्रोड्यूसर के पास थी. तो वो उनके पास राइट्स थे बुक के. उन्होंने बुक दी, मृण्मयी आई, और फिर हमने एक्सप्लोर करना शुरू किया, काफ़ी रिसर्च किया कि मतलब ये जो एक जर्नलिस्ट की जो ज़िंदगी है ना, मतलब वो खुद को एक इतना इम्पोर्टेंट काम करते हैं, रिपोर्ट करते हैं, एक ड्राइव रहता है कि अच्छा मुझे पेज 1 पे मेरी कहानी चाहिए, मेरा बाईलाइन चाहिए, इतनी जद्दोजहद होती है. एंड एक वैसे तो आम जिंदगी जीते हैं.
सही बात है.
तो वो जो एक ऑर्डिनरीनेस के अंदर एक एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरीनेस जो है, उसको ढूंढने का प्रयास रहता है हमेशा मेरा. तो इस कहानी में जिग्ना के fictionalized character में मुझे वो मिला.
Sometimes you engage yourself in various capacities. On some project you may be a showrunner, on another you may be a producer, on another you would be a director. You've also been writing. How do you choose your role on a particular project?
I have one primary role, which is to direct. And वो direction, I see it as a larger role for me. It's a role of creating this world and doing it from the beginning. So I get involved in the writing. मैं खुद लिखता नहीं हूँ, because I feel कि वो it limits my creation. So I work with really strong writers. And उसके बाद I mean the whole process of taking it, putting it all together. So I enjoy that more. So मैं अपने आप को, I call myself a professional director. Unfortunately directors को ये जो पूरा है, जो राइटर्स को इम्पोर्टेंस मिलना चाहिए और जिसके लिए लड़ाई चल रही है, वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. हाँ, इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. साथ साथ में डायरेक्टर्स का भी जो इम्पोर्टेंस है, क्योंकि ना डायरेक्टर्स ऑथर करते हैं अपने काम को. टेक्निकली दे आर नॉट कॉल्ड ऑथर्स, सो दे डोंट ओन एनीथिंग दैट दे मेक. सो द रिजल्ट इज आप while you are part of the project from the time it begins, from the time you pitch it until the time it is released, आप मतलब पूरी तरह से नर्चर करते हो, एंड आपके पास कोई ऑथरशिप नहीं रहती उस पर. तो वो मुझे कभी कभी खलता है, लेकिन आई एटलीस्ट फील के जो साथ साथ में जो एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा रहता है इस प्रोसेस का, वो राइटर का होता है. सो वो आई एम ब्लेस्ड कि मेरे साथ इतने अच्छे राइटर्स जुड़े हैं, और उनके साथ मिलकर मैं ये इन कहानियों को दुनिया तक पहुंचा सकता हूँ.
योर सन जय इज ऑल्सो अ फिल्म मेकर, और आपने कहीं बोला भी था कि जब जय बड़े हो रहे थे तो मुझे असिस्ट करने की बात नहीं करते थे, कहते थे कि अनुराग को असिस्ट करूंगा या फलाने को असिस्ट करूंगा. एंड नाउ ही इज अ फुल ग्रोन डायरेक्टर, सो अप्रिशिएटेड एंड रिस्पेक्टेड फॉर हिज वर्क. हाउ ओल्ड इज ही?
जय इज आई थिंक 31. मैं तो उसकी उम्र भी भूल गया. Jay was born when I was 22.
Really?
Yeah. So हम मतलब I became a father very early.
Yeah.
So Jay and me, our relationship actually developed as friends.
Yeah.
It grew when we started working together. शाहिद के दौरान, जब he was I think 17 or 18 when he joined me to work with me. And so that was when the relationship actually began to blossom.
Yeah.
And we got to know each other. I see his work, I feel a lot of pride when I see his work, but I am also equally critical, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि वो हाँ फर्ज है, और मैं मतलब कह देता हूँ, मैं अपने बेटे को नहीं कहूँगा.
हक भी है, right?
हाँ हक है, तो और किसे कहूँगा. So similarly he also is very critical of my work. We look at each other's work with a critical eye, and I think that is important. That is the healthiest way to have a relationship between father and son,
who are in the
also
same profession.
who are in the same profession. True.
You know, I was just reading about, I'm reading a book based on the life of Goldie Anand, and these three brothers, Devanand, Goldie Anand, Vijay Anand, were so driven.
Yeah.
मैंने कहा
I read that book.
आज के ज़माने में ऐसे लोग होने चाहिए. Thank you for being so gritty and so consistent. Thank you, Hansal ji. Thank you. Isn't Abu Dhabi beautiful? And it is so clean. And everybody kind of greets you with that word, marhaba, which is so popular in Hindi movies. Remember 1970s and 60s and 80s. Anyway, now we move on to the next segment. As I talk about it, I'm reminded of that scene in Gangs of Wasipur where two men, just before committing a murder or basically a shootout, they talk about that vegetable. And that vegetable is called Kathal. And a new series on Netflix is based on the heist of this Kathal. Doesn't that sound really amusing? The cast, the crew of this film talks to now showing.
Tell me, how did you come across this extremely unique idea?
I came across this story, this little incident that, jackfruits actually went missing from a very significant person's house, and there was a lot of police trying to find them. However, we just took that germ of an idea, and I thought we could extrapolate it and create great satire. It talks about a lot of things. There's a beautiful romance as well. Mahima and Saurabh are also borrowed from real characters whom we met during our research. So it makes my job easier when it comes to writing it. So it was great fun, I think, working with these fantastic actors who have just, imbibed the characters so well.
Yes.
And I also lent in so much research themselves, meeting real people, trying to understand how cops behave and what their real lives are like,
That's right.
rather than the image that we see in popular culture of police, which is a very, very macho image, I would say.
Yes.
We've tried to break that in Kathal.
Now, this is a story, when you read it in one line, it may come across as on the surface like, it can border on frivolousness a little bit, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. When you read, when you came across this idea, maybe when he narrated it to you, was that ever a thought?
No, it sounded unique and bizarre at the same time. I was looking for stories which were light-hearted, at the same time which had a strong social message to it. And I also felt that we as audience don't get such films nowadays where you can sit with your entire family and enjoy it. I just wanted to live a happy character.
That's
and
right.
Mahima's character is quite happy, The film is like in a very light-hearted zone. And that's what like attracted me to the script and Mahima.
मुझे तो ऑडिशन के लिए मैसेज आया था WhatsApp पे, and it came with a WhatsApp clip. And this happened, like this is based on this real life story incident. तो मैंने वो clipping जब देखी, then I realized कि अरे ये कैसे हो सकता है यार. So it was okay for that instance. Yeah, it could be borderlining frivolous, but when I read the script, it was so layered. It's so deep. I think it's on the surface. It may look like it's only about like finding Kathal, but then जिस तरह Kathal की इतनी सारी layer है, परत होती हैं. The moment you start taking it out, it's like it's a Pandora box.
So this is like the Paglet team, coming together again. There's Guneet, there's Ekta. How does it feel, to have, women like them who have sort of changed, the face of contemporary Indian cinema and you coming together? Guneet has won an Oscar now.
Yeah.
How is that like?
One of the reasons I said, I was excited to do this film was also because my association with them was very fruitful. I think I've seen that shift in my career post-Paglet.
Yes.
I've seen a shift in how the audience and the industry sees me as an actor. I never had that confidence as an actor before Paglet, to headline a film. And I think I have to give it to like Guneet and Umesh sir, who really believed in me as an actor. At that point, I remember I had called Guneet to my office. This is before Paglet, and I wanted to tell her that I do not want to do the film. I was like, no, but it's like a film that is on my shoulders. I don't know if I should be doing it right now, too soon. It was like, I was 4 years old in the industry. And she convinced me. She was like, you should do it. And we all know that Guneet, Achin, they get attached to projects that they truly believe in, you know, and I trust them a lot.
Before we let you go, we'll do a very quick cop quiz and be very quick. Okay, first question. The last film where Tabu played a cop.
Kutte.
Okay.
No.
Drishyam 2.
Drishyam 2.
No.
Oh God, I also thought it was Kutte.
No, it's
Bhola.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, next one.
मैंने बोला भोला.
नहीं, but मैंने बोला उसके बाद तुमने
नहीं,
बोला.
हमने साथ में बोला भोला.
तुमने कहाँ बोला?
हमने बोला साथ
अच्छा
में बोला
ठीक है,
बोला.
next one. This actor played a pregnant cop when she was pregnant in real life.
Rani Mukherjee?
No.
No.
Pass?
Yeah.
Okay, this was Neha Dhupia in A Thursday.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Yes. Okay, last one. The only film where Shah Rukh Khan played a cop.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this
जिसमें
one.
फातिमा भी है, छोटी बच्ची है वो.
Yes.
वो वाला सोना नहीं ना सही.
Can we
Okay,
get a hint?
chalo, it's-
Can we get a hint?
It has Juhi Chawla.
No, जूही चावला.
खामोशी है,
नहीं. हाँ वो वाला गाना. उसमें ये भी है.
अच्छा, हाँ,
हाँ.
बच्चे बहुत सारे.
बस अभी हो गया. 1, 2 का 4.
1, 2 का 4.
1, 2 का 4.
All right. On that note, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, that's a shooting star. कुछ कुछ होता है. I always remember कुछ कुछ होता है whenever I visit and that's a speeding Ferrari because the Ferrari arena is right here. Anyway, so moving on, we take a short break here, and after the break is Manj Music. Yeah, that's the name of a singer, Manj Music, who's come up with a new video with Anusha Dandekar. Don't go away. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui, and this episode of Now Showing is brought to you from Abu Dhabi, where Iifa Awards are happening. By the way, you can watch Iifa Awards on Colors and Colors Cineplex in the end of June. I'm going to tell you at that time also, like a reminder to you. But as of now, please remember, end of June, to watch Iifa on Colors and Colors Cineplex. Moving on. Manj Music, what an interesting name, or an interesting, like writers have pen name, he has a screen name. His real name is Manjeet Pal, and he goes by the name of, or the title of, Manj Music. He's out with his new video, this time starring Anusha Dandekar, and the duo talked to Vishal Chatkara about their new music album, and this time they also talk about that sweet cute story about a sound recording with Himesh Reshammiya. Listen in.
ਕੰਨ ਨੂੰ ਚੁੰਮ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਨੀ ਨੱਕ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਕਾ ਲੈ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀ. Then
come through. You can bring your friends, they can come too. I'ma bring my girls and my whole crew.
Now, Manjeet and Anusha, you have a new song out titled Love Token. This is a blend of Punjabi, English pop with some Afro beats vibe.
yes,
What has been the response that both of you are getting?
we've had a great response. The YouTube is going crazy. People are sending me reels. So I think people are just loving the video being so organic and the song being so catchy.
I just think, like, you know, and I don't say this because he's here and I did a song with him. I think Manj is just best known for every single one of his songs being catchy, and in any genre, whether he's doing just down and out Bollywood or he's doing an R&B, Punjabi, a fusion. I think what is his staple is that it will always be catchy and something you can sing along to. Whether you know the language or not, you will learn it.
Would you like to share any anecdote or a funny story from one of such music settings where a producer told you, or do this to a song, and what was your reaction?
Okay, so the first Bollywood song I ever sang and made was Rafta Rafta from Namaste London.
Yeah.
Akshay Paji told me to make the song with Himesh Reshammiya. And Himesh, obviously, he's super hit master, had millions, hundreds and hundreds of hits at that point. We went into this room and there was just mattresses on the floor and there was a band in front of us. And he gave me the mic and he says, think of a song. And I'm like, what? Here, like, I feel as though we're in a mehfil, not in a studio. We're expecting a big Bollywood studio, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, why are we even sitting here like this? And the fact was that he actually created his music this way. He kind of just sing something in a melody, beat, dunk, dunk, tak, dunk, dunk, tak, and then the drummer would start playing the beat like that. Like I like the bass, dong, 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 and the bass guy would start playing his bass guy. And this for us was like, what the hell is going on here? Because we are hands-on, like we like to play things, do things. We made a song, we gave it to Akshay, and Akshay said, throw it in the bin. And he said, we're not interested in this. I want you to now make something that you want to make and send it to me. And then we made what we wanted to make and sent it to him, and it became a success.
Wow.
Please give us a few lines of Rafta Rafta, but also tell us what was that version like that you threw in the bin?
Oh my God, that version sounded way too Himesh Reshammiya. That's what that sounded like.
Was it a nasal voice?
Yeah, it was a nasal voice, and I was kind of singing it. Or something like Tere Bina, or something like this. I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Rafta rafta dekho dekho kya ho gaya, rafta rafta. Rafta rafta dekho dekho kya ho gaya, rafta dekho rafta.
What a beautiful visual that was, a cycle on top of a car. Well, these are common visuals in Abu Dhabi. Moving on, the director of Bob Biswas, Diya Annapurna Ghosh, picks up a British dark comedy when asked about that one film that changed her life. Well, it also won a BAFTA award, and Oscar nominee Riz Ahmed also stars in it.
I think the film that influenced me is a film called Four Lions. I watched it actually when it came out, which was in 2010. The story of the film is about these four young boys who I think were living in Sheffield at the time. They essentially want to be a suicide bombers and bomb this marathon. And it shows how they interact and the behind the scenes behind the actual getting to bombing the actual marathon, which in the end they don't even get to the bombing it. They bomb utter random things that we don't even expect, which is the best bit about the whole film. I think it's also one of those genres that I really connect with, because I think comedy is one of those genres that it says a lot of truth in what they say, and it's really hard to make someone laugh. I think Riz Ahmed was one of the best things about the film, because I think he showed both sides of the character. He showed how he wanted to be seen as a human being, but in the end he just keeps failing it, because in the end he's doing something that everyone would think is completely wrong, but he doesn't realize it himself, which is the most fascinating bit about the whole thing. I think I see the characters in a different light each time I watch it. I think one of my favorite sequences would be when they go into that garage and they see all that bleach, and he goes and he asks, why do you have all that bleach? And he just says that, and how did he get all the bleach? And he says that he got it off from the store. And then they want a reenactment of how he did it. I think he showed the contrast of both worlds very beautifully. I think it was more in the mockumentary sense, which I think has been done a lot more in series than it has done in film. I love the fact that all of these characters were essentially grey, the way they thought. And I think that is something that has impacted me in writing, because I like having grey characters. Even if you see Bob, he is essentially a grey character. And I think that's what human beings are, which is what I think I took the most out of the film.
Well, that's all that I have on Now Showing from Abu Dhabi for you. But remember, you can watch Iifa Awards in the end of June on Colors and Colors Cineplex. I will see you again in India. Till then, you keep watching good cinema, because we are what we watch. Till then, marhaba.